Hey guys, welcome to a quick little shipping crate video, I guess, technically speaking. Got a few things in from HobbyLink Japan. This is all some older stuff that had been sitting over there for the past 2 months that I was forced to ship out because it was going to ship itself. For those people who are not real familiar with HobbyLink Japan, they have a feature that they call the personal warehouse, which allows you to order, pre-order, back order, any number of items. Obviously, if you've never been to HobbyLink Japan, they do sell more than just car kits. They sell military kits, Gunpla, Gundam, all sorts of toys, and it just figures out the wazoo. I mean, it is quite literally just a full-service hobby and toy emporium, if you want to call it that. But at any rate, you can order whatever you want to that tickles your fancy, and then it gets put. If you do not choose to ship it when you buy it, you can put it into what they call a virtual personal warehouse, which will, keep an item in stock for you for 60 days, and at what point at 60 days they will box it up and ship it to you, or you can then, package your things up and ship them however you need to. The basic function of it and the reason why it's there is because, if you know from watching our stash report videos that, kit announcements are usually given out in Japan about a month in advance for just the regular reissues of stuff. And if you want to go in and order a couple of things that are in stock right now, and then pre-order something for September, you could do that, and they'll just hold everything until your kit comes in September, and then you can ship everything at once. And one big box is traditionally a lot cheaper than shipping several small boxes. So, like I said, I had a whole bunch of stuff that, it's down here, I keep looking, that I got, that had been 60 some odd days old, and they had to go, and I wanted to get them in for the club meeting, Monday. However, something apparently wasn't in stock, or they couldn't find, or whatever, and ended up delaying the shipping until this past Friday, and then it showed up today. So, still was about 3 or 4 business days. It was 5 days total with the weekend. Not a bad turnaround time. Especially for something that only costs like $20 to ship all this stuff. I guess we'll take a quick look at the Z4 before we go. Put some decals and put some stuff into the body. So we're gonna spin the camera over here and we'll show you what you got. Dunk, crunch. Whoop. There we go. Got 2 of these. These are the 2012 version of the Fujima BMW Z4 GT3. Hey, look, it's a GT3 here and a GT3 here. Basically, these are just blanks. As we talked about before, I have quite a number of decals for these kits just laying around waiting to be built. And so I got 2 of these. I'm not going to show you both of them, obviously, but that, helps fill in a little more base kits for the decal stuff that I have. I got this, which is the carbon fiber detail upset for the Tamiya Lexus SC430 race car kit, the Super GT kit. Like a moron, I forgot to actually make sure that the kit that this goes to shipped with this package. Now that'll have to come get shipped out here in the next couple of days. Actually, it's about to turn 60 days old itself. I saw that these were being reissued, and so I ordered this, and then I ordered the kit. The kit was on back order, and it came in about 2 months. Well, not 2 months, I should say. Came in about 15 days later, and I usually try to make sure that I ship my accessories with my kits. I managed to not do that on this. You got a little bit of everything in here. You got some brake discs. You got pedals. You got wipers. There's a Lexus logo there. There's a whole bunch of venting. There's photo etched seat belts. There's the wing struts. There's a tire stencil if you wanted to paint. Let me see which way I might need to go this way. If you need to paint the Bridgestone Potenza on there rather than using the actual decals. There's a bunch of little bits and bobs and rivets and all sorts of stuff in here. Some of it, the instructions in here all being in Japanese, which is not that big a deal because there's obviously pictorial photographs as well, but some of the stuff doesn't actually show you where it goes or what it's supposed to go to. There's a whole bunch of it's not going to really show up. Where am I at here? There we go. But it's not going to show up because of the glare, but there's a bunch of just regular sort of NASCAR style, if you want to call them that, hood pins. But, there's no comment as where they go, which I assume on the hood. There's a total of 9 of them. So I'm assuming that the hood and the trunk get those. But I don't have the kit to know where they go. So, oops. Anyway, that'll be something to look forward to in the next shipping crate video. And we got this. This is the brand new remastering of an old kit. You guys may realize that Tamiya has had a Honda S800 kit out since, 1997 is what the tooling says. I'm pretty sure it existed prior to that, but maybe not. At any rate, this is the Honda S600. This is the car that came before this S800 and was, in fact, the first mass production vehicle that Honda made. And Honda did make an S500, which was technically their first production vehicle. However, it was not a mass-produced vehicle, and there were only a couple hundred of them made. This was the first mass-produced vehicle, the first vehicle they made that was exported out of country and things like that. This is sort of a very unique little bit of tooling here, because if you go through, which I did, and look at all the parts runners, you'll see that the parts runners all have 2 parts numbers on them. And some of them have 2 sets of copyrights, one from 1997 and then one from 2015. What they've done is that the body, the chrome tree, and the engine tree, and one of the 2 other main parts runners to this kit have been remastered to make the S600 kit, but they are based on the tooling from the S800 kit directly. So you can, I think the only part of this kit that is unchanged is the parts runner that has the interior to it. The interiors basically were not different between the 2 different models, the 600 and the 800. But the body was different, and the chrome runners, the grill's different, the bumper's different, the hood is different, but that's on a different parts runner with the chassis and stuff. And like I said, very kind of interesting to see how they went about creating what is a brand new model kit out of 97 would be 18-year-old tooling at this point. All of it was cleaned up. I'd argue that it actually looks better than the 1997 tooling. I have a 2000 and something reissue of the S800 kit, and while the kit's fine, it's not big, not a lot of problems with any Tamiya kit really in the way it looks. This is definitely a lot cleaner. The molds got cleaned up after they remastered them. So if you're really into itty bitty cars, I mean, I don't know if anybody's actually ever really seen. This right here is the body to the S600. The S800 is not any bigger than this, and for size comparison, you could probably put this up inside. Let's spin this sideways. You can put this up inside of it, both in width and in dimensions. So it's a teeny-weeny little car. I'm trying to think what year Honda said they started making these. I think it'll say on the side of the box here. 1963. So this is supposed to be a 1963 Honda S600. From reading the instructions, they give you color callouts to build either one of the 2. I don't want to hit the thing with my box here. There we go. They give you color callouts to paint it either white or red. But it was available also in a blue and a black and several other colors. Through the 3-year production run ahead before it went into the S800. So it's a neat little kit, good Tamiya quality. It's full detail, does have a complete engine, drivetrain, the very unique motorcycle chain-driven rear ends from it and everything else. So neat little kit, recommended if you're into that sort of thing. This here being a 2004-2005 Subaru Impreza for the World Rally Championship. It's a Monte Carlo Rally edition. There was a Rally Japan version that came out the year before. Primary reason we got this kit is because Studio 27 did a carbon fiber decal set for it. I'm not really into rally cars. I don't have any other rally cars other than this one. And I have of course I have the Volkswagen Polo that Belkith did on pre-order, but rally's not really my thing. I'm obviously way more into the GT3 endurance thing, but with just the complete and total carbon fiber package that they offered for this kit, I went out and grabbed one. Besides, it's a Tamiya kit. How can you go wrong, right? I've seen a bunch of these built. Nobody's ever seemed to ever have any complaints about how it goes together. Everybody seems to be happy with it. I probably am not going to build this in the actual race livery. There are no optional race liveries for this car. You can only get it. The only decals that come with it are the ones that are in here. That you can build either the 5 or the 6, I guess. Of the Subaru factory team, apparently there were no privateer Subaru teams that year. I don't know, or nobody gave two craps. I never made any decals for them. But I'm thinking about basically just making this sort of like a after race kind of thing. I haven't actually checked to see what kind of tires are in this, but I believe they're treaded because this is a tarmac version rather than being a asphalt version. And if it does have treaded tires, which I should probably go look for, I'm gonna or I'll source some tires from someplace, perhaps Black Eye Scale Auto Parts, and just like I said, make this more of a retired rally car that got, made street legal. And I use the air quotes around street legal because, obviously this wouldn't be. But, I guess my understanding from what I've been told is that, the World Rally Car cars themselves have to be street legal, at least for Europe. They are, let's see, I'll show that they do have, license plates on them, and they are supposed to be drivable between rally stages on roads. That's why they have headlights and glass and all that. And since I actually am holding this, let me see here. They just came in. This stuff just came in today, so I haven't really had a chance to look at it. Yeah, it's not exactly. I don't know if that'll. Probably too much to ask here. Oh, there we go. It's more or less there. It's going in and out of focus because I can't decide what I want to focus on, but there we go. So there are some tread-ish tires here. We call those DOT legal, right? If you can get cheater slicks that you can drive on the road, those look like good enough tires to me. I probably will paint it the metallic blue just because it's going to be, a retired Subaru team car, so it'll be blue, but it won't. I'm going to take, most of the graphics off of this. I'm just not a really big fan of this goofy thing on the side here. I may have left the goofy thing on the side if this was separate, but this Monte Carlo Rally and the number thing is integral with this part of the swoosh. And if you, of course, cut this out, you'd have to find the matching decal color and try to fill in the arc that it's cutting out of. So I'm going to leave like the Subaru window thing in here. I might leave some of these rally sponsors on the front and the back and stuff like that, but it's going to be more, like I said, of a retired World Rally car. I'm going to go find a PA tag. I have some Pennsylvania license plate someplace, and we'll, toss a PA tag on the back of it. I'm pretty sure it'll pay. It has seat belts, it has brakes. There really isn't very much to a Pennsylvania state inspection when it comes right down to it. If you're not in one of the counties around Pittsburgh or Philly or Harrisburg where they require you to have an emissions check. I live near Pittsburgh, but I am out in the sticks far enough that in the county I live in, we don't actually do emissions testing on our vehicles, so the race exhaust is not a problem. And then the last thing that is in this crate, like I said, it's just a small amount of stuff here, no decals, no big amount of stuff, is that the GB120 version, 1973 version of the Nissan Sunny pickup truck from Hasegawa. This is a limited edition kit. They aren't doing. This is not going to be a regular catalog kit. It's not hard to find. It's in stock in a bunch of different places. It's not sold out by any stretch of the imagination, but it is one of those things that once they do sell out, there are not going to be any more of them. It's not going to be a constant rotation. This is a very slightly modified tooling of this kit. This is the GB121 1979 Nissan Sunny. It's really kind of hard to put them side by side, being that they're long boxes. But we're going to take this camera, we're going to tip it up this way. So you notice that this is the new kit. This kit came out last year, right before Christmas. So it's not that old a kit, but it is a new kit. You notice that you're going to get a different set of wheels here with the dog dish hubcaps. These are just steel wheels. The hubcaps are not included in here. There are different grills here. There are different fender mirrors between the two. There are several interior differences, which is impossible to show because they aren't on the side of the box or anything like that. But more or less, it is the same sort of vehicle. There's different front bumpers. Early, like I said, 1973, 1979. So you see the slight difference between the two. There is tooling in, it's carryover because they didn't take it out for this one, but there is tooling in here, how you want to look at it, to do a later one, like a 1980s version of this kit. So I expect there will be a third version because there is, like I said, a late version, a GB122 version of this that is still pending. I'm assuming that this sold well enough to make this, so I'm assuming this will sell enough to make the third one. This one does come with all the parts that this one does, so you do have the set of Watanabes in here, or I'm trying to think of how Elliot pronounced it the other day, because apparently he has the correct pronunciation. It's like Watanabes or something like that. But anyway, so the Watanabes are still in here. All the low-down suspension parts are still in here, so you can build this as the sort of, it's not slam, but the lowered kit on the Watanabes. And like I said, everything that is in here more or less. You just got parts added to it. I don't think anything was actually taken out. And so that, guys, is what we got in the mail today. Didn't use FedEx for a change. FedEx is being a little expensive for what I'm trying to get done. And then so this will be what we've accomplished on the BMW Z4 in the last, I don't know how many hours it's been since I updated it last. I don't know if this is gonna focus. It seems right. I don't have enough light until I have too much of it, right? It's one of those things where it's really hard because it's black. Let me kill this light back here and see if that helps. I'm gonna sneak up on the camera. I just don't think this is gonna end up focusing because the camera's gonna be a sack of douche here. At any rate. Lost my pointer. Put it down and don't know where it went. There it is. Fire my light back up. At any rate, around this gas tank surround, what I'm trying to show you, and it'll show up, of course, in pictures, there is a gas cap that goes here, but there is a carbon fiber little surround that goes around there. We also glued on the NACA duct on this side. There's a carbon fiber piece that goes over this. I haven't applied it yet. We put the NACA ducts in for the brakes. You can see those parts were separate because I didn't bother to paint the back of them because you'll never see them. And then we put the headlights in. It'd be great if this would. You can see 28 Crown Victorias perfectly in focus, but the thing that's in front of the camera, screw off. You can't see shit. I apologize for the shakiness. We're going to do this. Now it's in focus because it doesn't have anything else to look at. So anyway, like I said, we got the headlights in. I put one of the 3 slam lock style hood pins in. There's just a little arrow pointing down telling you which way to open it. I did find that if you happen to be building one of these kits, the slam locks, because the front end of this from about, like say here forwards, is a new piece for 2013, and which is what these kits are. I mean, 2012 may have it too, but the old 2011 kits had a different front end style that had a different grill opening, and so the kit basically is modified. I'd say about right here as far as what the tooling, the master tooling and the new tooling. And so there were new slam locks made for the front here, and they don't fit quite the right way. And it's not because I have too much paint on here, because this is 2 coats of primer and 2 coats of paint, basically. So it's real thin coating. And as I said, it's just like not quite the right size opening. So I had to sit there and scrape that out a little bit. I'm more than likely going to scrape out the other 2. Fortunately, I can scrape it from sort of the bottom so that I'm not affecting the paint finish itself. And then, really, I'm going all brute strength. I took the butt end of a hobby knife and just sort of shoved it in there until it went in there. I don't think it has to actually be glued. And then we got the back end here. We got the tail lights in, or the tail light buckets, I should say. Those are going to be a little bit of a pain in the ass because you have to take and paint just a little bit of leave a little bit down here where the very bottom of these buckets are, where I guess it would be the turn signals, maybe the backup lights. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be exactly, but those are not red, and the parts themselves are clear, so you have to paint the red part on, which is no big deal. I don't care about that, but it's kind of a little bit of we'll have to tape the glass off and hope I don't leave a residue. And let's see, we're going to take this and pitch it up just a notch so that I can do this without it freaking out. Maybe. Okay. I think I'm getting too much glare off the light. Oh, I need a uniform set of lights in this basement, but that's one of those things that finances and everything never meet at the same time. I don't know what it is about those Lindbergh kits, but man, does this camera love them. Now it'll probably focus on these Tamiya bottles. It certainly is. Well, let's do this. See if we can go this way. Nope. It's not going to do it. I love this camera sometimes. And by sometimes, I mean not at all. It's just I've got too much black going on, I think it's a problem. Sounds terribly, horribly bad, but you know what I mean. We're going to do this. Put this kit, nice white kit box in here upside down, and we'll put this right here. Ha! See, I is our professional. So at any rate, here's the back end of the car. This is pretty much all of the decals that will go back here. There are some stripes that are going to come off the side of the fender and go back to almost touch these P Studio graphics. The GTC is the class that it ran in European Le Mans. Elite Daily is the voice of the Generation Y, according to their website. I like looking up the sponsors and seeing, what they are. And then One Oak apparently is a very chic nightclub in the New York City area. And they've just recently opened a Las Vegas location, and then also in Mexico City and someplace else. I can't remember. But there we go. Now we got it zoomed in where you can see, and my camera doesn't suck at the same time. The one piece is a little bit off this side over here because the tow hook is right there, and that's where the thing is in real life. I know for a lot of people that'll bother them that it's not equidistant apart like you would expect it to be, but it is what it is because of the way the car is designed. There is going to be one more decal down here that'll say Barnwell Motorsports. That goes actually on the splitter that mates up from the chassis. And there's actually nothing on the trunk itself. There'll, of course, be a spoiler here that has a bunch of graphics on it. And then we'll go from there. Now you can sort of see the NACA duct there. Like I said, this NACA duct will have a piece of carbon fiber attached to it. And since this is now actually looking like it wants to be halfway cooperative, there we go. So there's your carbon fiber surround around the fuel filler. Their fuel filler isn't being dechromed right now because it was on a chrome tree, but there is a great big, if you've seen the, I'll go ahead and zoom myself back out of this so my hand isn't so huge. If you've seen the decal sheet we're going to use for this, you know that there is a bunch of green striping that goes all over this car, including one big piece that goes over the entire roof. I'm waiting to get everything else installed in the body that would require the car to be upside down. Like there's two more slam locks in the trunk. The glass obviously has to go in here. There are some intakes that have a bottom piece. So basically there's like a piece that attaches through here, and then there's a bottom to it. So there's some depth of field where it doesn't just disappear into the middle of nowhere. And let's see, we got the two more slam locks here, and then obviously the kidney grills need to still go in. These headlights have individual little pieces of plastic light that go in there, and then there's a lens that goes over the entire front of them. And then we've already talked about the backlight. The headlights and the taillights and the lenses, theoretically speaking, can wait. But I want to take, and get as much of the other stuff done as possible so that I'm not constantly flipping the car onto the decal that's up there. Once that decal is installed, there is carbon fiber that goes around the side of this, all the way around the back of here, and then another one for this side that goes around the side, so that the carbon fiber, the roof would be obviously a convertible in real life. It's not in a race car, so that the carbon fiber surround for the roof is all there. Neat little feature of the carbon fiber decal set that I'm using. And then from there, it's all going to be a lot of freehand decals, because only the stuff up to about here from the front up is stuff that's, you can't screw it up because it follows the contours of the car. Once it gets into the doors and the stuff on the back, it's a little bit dicier, simply for the fact that the decals as they're shown in the parts layout on the instructions don't really match the jaunty angle that the real car has. So I'm going to have to sort of, like I said, freehand it a little bit. And there are multiple levels of stripes that go on a sort of I should do it this way. They go on a diagonal like this, that are in like about 5 pieces that go from basically the bottom of the front door and then all the way up to, going over this back fender. Yeah, like I said, they're all in a way more jaunty angle than the decal sheet instructions show, and there's no real, placement to them. It's going to be all eyeballing the real car and then trying to lay the decals out, which is not a big complaint. It could be worse. It could be something I had to mask off and paint 3 different colors, so I'll take, trying to get the decals any day. The problem, of course, will be getting one side down and then trying to do it the other side and having them be, uniform on both sides. So, at any rate, guys, that's where we're at with that. And I apologize for, there's probably a minute of silence there where I was just screwing around with the camera trying to figure out what the hell was going on. But that's where we're at. I feel like I had something else to say, but I don't. So we'll see you guys on the other side.